You're losing influence watching others command rooms effortlessly while your words fail to persuade despite excellent content. Recognizing that communication is 93% nonverbal, making body language the primary persuasion tool. Knowing that magnetically persuasive people use specific body language secrets, not mysterious charisma. Understanding that 7 specific secrets transform ordinary presence into magnetic influence. And losing opportunities, relationships, and success. Because without body language mastery, your words work against you, making body language secrets essential for becoming magnetically persuasive in every interaction. This poor body language is systematically destroying your influence by ensuring people distrust you despite honest intentions, destroying your persuasiveness by sending contradictory signals that undermine your words, destroying your presence by making you forgettable in important situations, destroying your confidence by creating self-consciousness in high-stakes interactions, and ensuring that opportunities pass to people with inferior ideas but superior presence because body language. Determines perceived credibility, confidence, and trustworthiness before a single word is spoken, making body language mastery essential. Becoming magnetically persuasive is not about manipulation or fake confidence, but using 7 specific body language secrets to authentically communicate your true value and intentions. Not about becoming someone different, but expressing your best self physically. And not mysterious talent, but learnable systematic skill. This audiobook teaches 7 body language secrets that make you magnetically persuasive, including mastering power posture that commands respect, using eye contact that creates deep connection, deploying strategic touch that builds instant rapport, mirroring techniques that create unconscious alignment, using vocal variety and strategic silence, controlling space and territory powerfully, and reading others to respond strategically, making magnetic persuasion systematic learnable skill. Stop losing influence to inferior communicators and start commanding presence. Stop letting body language undermine your words and start making them powerfully congruent. Master 7 secrets consistently, practice deliberately, and become magnetically persuasive through unwavering commitment starting now. Chapter 1. Secret 1. Master power posture that commands instant respect. Chapter 1 reveals power posture secrets commanding instant respect. The posture science shows that body position communicates status, confidence, and competence within milliseconds, that slumped posture signals submission and insecurity before a single word leaves your mouth, that expansive open posture signals confidence and authority immediately. That posture affects not just how others perceive you, but how you feel and perform mentally. And understanding that posture is first and most powerful body language signal establishing your status in every room you enter. Posture speaks before words do. Command with your body. Stand powerfully or signal weakness. The power posture elements include standing tall with spine fully elongated, creating maximum height, shoulders pulled back and down, not hunched forward defensively, chest open and forward, not collapsed inward, feet shoulder width apart, creating stable, powerful foundation, weight balanced evenly on both feet, not shifting nervously, chin level, not dropped submissively or raised arrogantly, and treating each element as contributing to commanding presence that others perceive and respond to. Instantly. The seated power posture matters equally as standing presence. Sit forward in chair, showing active engagement rather than slumping backward, signaling disinterest. Take full seat, occupying your space, not perching on edge, which signals anxiety. Lean slightly forward during key emphasis points, creating interest and authority. Keep arms open on table or armrests rather than crossed defensively. And understanding that your seated posture communicates your status as powerfully as your standing posture. The Amy Cuddy research revolutionized understanding of posture's bidirectional effects. Holding expansive open posture for just 2 minutes before high-stakes interactions measurably increases testosterone, decreases cortisol, and changes negotiation outcomes significantly. Your body doesn't just express your confidence, it actively creates it. Before important meetings, presentations, negotiations, or conversations, find private space and hold your most expensive posture. For 2 full minutes, feeling confidence build physically and mentally. The specific power poses available include standing with hands on hips and feet wide, creating Wonder Woman position, sitting with feet on desk and hands behind head, creating executive pose, standing with arms raised in V shape, creating victory position, and understanding that any pose expanding your physical space and opening your body creates measurable physiological changes, preparing you for high stakes performance. The everyday posture habits require constant conscious attention until they become automatic. Identify your specific posture weaknesses through video recording yourself or honest mirror assessment. Common problems include forward head position from phone use, rounded shoulders from desk work, crossed legs creating uneven weight, and crossed arms creating defensive barrier. Each weakness undermines your presence, continuously requiring deliberate correction. The environmental reminders help build new posture habits systematically. Place sticky note at computer monitor reminding you to check posture every hour. Set phone alarm every 90 minutes as posture check prompt. Use doorways as posture reset triggers, straightening completely before entering each room. Practice posture during routine activities like walking, waiting in line, or sitting in meetings, treating every moment as posture practice opportunity. The clothing and appearance connection shows that wearing clothes fitting well and feeling good naturally improves posture, that uncomfortable or ill-fitting clothing creates physical self-consciousness causing protective slouching, that dressing for confidence supports confident posture, and treating appearance as supporting posture rather than separate consideration. The movement quality reveals that how you move between positions communicates status as powerfully as static posture. Moving slowly and deliberately signals confidence, while moving quickly and jerkily signals anxiety. Taking your time sitting down, standing up, and crossing rooms creates high status movement quality that others notice and respond to. The congruous requirement means that posture must match your words for maximum persuasive impact. Delivering confident message with slouch posture creates incongruence that destroys credibility. Ensuring your physical presentation matches your verbal message creates powerful, congruent communication that people trust and respond to positively. The implementation requires mastering each power posture element standing and seated, using PI interaction power posing consistently, breaking specific poor posture habits through environmental reminders, developing deliberate movement quality, ensuring posture congruence with message, and treating power posture as foundation of magnetic persuasion, where poor posture undermined credibility before speaking. Posture speaks before words do. Command with your body. Stand powerfully or signal weakness. You understand now that posture creates instant impressions, that expansive posture builds confidence, that seated posture matters equally, that PI interaction posing works, and that Chapter 1 provides posture foundation, making magnetic presence possible where slouching made authority impossible. Chapter 2. Secret to use eye contact that creates magnetic connection. Chapter 2 reveals eye contact secrets, creating magnetic connection and unshakable trust. The eye contact power shows that sustained, appropriate eye contact signals confidence, intelligence, and trust within us simultaneously, that avoiding eye contact signals deception, insecurity, or disrespect regardless of your actual intentions, that eye contact creates genuine human connection that words alone cannot achieve, that eye contact is most powerful single body language tool available, and understanding that mastering eye contact transforms every interaction from superficial to genuinely magnetic. Eyes create connection or disconnection. Master eye contact. Look confidently or signal weakness. The optimal eye contact duration research reveals that maintaining eye contact 60 to 70% of conversation signals confidence and genuine interest without intimidation, that less than 50% seems evasive and untrustworthy, creating doubt about your honesty. That 100% constant unblinking staring feels threatening and deeply uncomfortable, creating defensive reactions. That breaking contact upward feels thoughtful and engaged, while breaking downward seems submissive and uncertain, and treating optimal percentage as creating comfort and connection without crossing into aggression. The eye contact triangle technique transforms mechanical staring into natural warm engagement. Move your gaze naturally between their left eye, right eye, and mouth, creating warm engaging triangle that feels natural rather than fixed. Avoid staring intensely into single eye, which creates discomfort and feels aggressive. Use soft focus, allowing you to see their whole face rather than fixed stare that feels like examination. Practice this triangle movement until it becomes completely natural and unconscious. The authority versus rapport eye contact distinction enables strategic deployment. Authority eye contact maintains gaze slightly longer than comfortable, creating dominance signal appropriate for leadership negotiations and high-stakes persuasion. Rapport eye contact is warmer, softer, and more inclusive, appropriate for building relationships, creating trust, and deepening connection. Matching appropriate eye contact type to specific situation multiplies your persuasive impact dramatically. The emotional connection moments require specific eye contact strategy. Make strong, deliberate eye contact during key emotional points of conversation when you want your message to land deepest. Break contact briefly during neutral information exchange, giving both parties momentary relief. Resume strong contact for emphasis, connection, and key persuasion points. This rhythm of connection and release creates dynamic, engaging interaction that holds attention and deepens impact. The group eye contact strategy enables magnetic presence when addressing multiple people. Give each person several seconds of direct eye contact before moving to next person, creating individual connection within group setting. Avoid scanning quickly across room, which feels dismissive and impersonal. Complete individual connection moments with each person, making every listener feel personally seen and heard. The eye contact in negotiation and persuasion follows specific patterns, maximizing influence. Maintain strong eye contact while making your key points, communicating certainty and conviction. Hold eye contact while listening to their response, showing genuine interest and respect. Use extended eye contact during moments of agreement to cement alignment. Briefly but deliberately break contact when conceding points, softening the moment. The cultural awareness around eye contact acknowledges that appropriate duration varies across cultures, that some cultures consider prolonged eye contact disrespectful, that adapting to specific cultural context is essential, and understanding that awareness of these variations prevents unintended offense. The eye contact and listening combination creates particularly powerful impression. People feel profoundly heard and respected when you maintain attentive eye contact while they speak. Most people think about what they want to say next while others talk, rather than truly listening. Maintaining genuine eye contact while truly listening creates rare experience of feeling genuinely understood that people find magnetic and memorable. The practice methodology involves deliberately practicing in low-stakes daily interactions. Use every conversation as practice opportunity, maintaining optimal duration. Practice triangle technique in casual conversations before high-stakes situations. Video record practice presentations to assess your eye contact patterns objectively. Get feedback from trusted friends or colleagues about your eye contact quality. The implementation requires practice in optimal 60 to 70% duration, using triangle technique until natural, distinguishing authority from rapport contact, making strategic emotional connections, deploying group eye contact, applying negotiation patterns, respecting cultural variations, and treating eye contact mastery as creating magnetic trust where avoidance destroyed credibility. Eyes create connection or disconnection. Master eye contact. Look confidently or signal weakness. You understand now that duration matters precisely, that triangle creates comfort, that authority differs from rapport, that emotional moments need strong contact, and that Chapter 2 provides eye contact mastery, making magnetic connection possible where avoidance made trust impossible. Chapter 3. Secret 3 deploys strategic touch that builds instant rapport. Chapter 3 reveals strategic touch secrets building instant rapport and accelerating influence. The touch science shows that appropriate touch is most powerful rapport-building tool available to humans. That touch releases oxytocin, creating immediate bonding and trust neurologically. That brief appropriate touch dramatically increases compliance, liking, and positive evaluation. That research demonstrates waitresses receive significantly larger tips after brief forearm touch compared to no touch, and understanding that strategic touch transforms relationship quality and persuasive impact. Instantly. Touch builds instant rapport and trust. Deploy strategically. Connect physically or stay distant. The appropriate touch zones create framework for navigating physical contact in different contexts. The handshake represents primary professional touch, creating significant first impression and establishing relationship foundation. Brief forearm touch during emphasis creates powerful connection while remaining professionally appropriate in most contexts. Shoulder touch communicates warmth and equality, appropriate for peers and established relationships. Understanding different zones carry different intimacy levels, requiring constant situational judgment. Protects relationships from unintended signals. The handshake mastery deserves dedicated practice because it creates first physical impression, setting entire relationship tone. Use firm but not crushing grip, matching your pressure to context and the individual. Achieve web-to-web contact with thumbs pointing upward, creating confident equals impression rather than submissive palm up or dominant palm down position. Maintain strong eye contact throughout handshake duration. Hold for 2 to 3 full seconds longer than typical, creating memorable connection. Add brief two-handed clasp with left hand covering back of handshake for warmth and sincerity in appropriate contexts. The contextual appropriateness requires sophisticated reading of individual and situational factors. Observe how the specific person touches others in the environment before deploying touch with them. Some individuals are naturally tactile and welcome physical contact, while others are reserved and prefer greater personal distance. Start conservatively and follow their lead, allowing them to set the comfort level. Respecting personal boundaries and individual preferences is essential because inappropriate touch destroys rapport completely and permanently. The cultural touch variations require particular awareness. Different cultures have dramatically different norms around touching, including frequency, appropriate zones, and gender considerations. High-touch cultures in Southern Europe, Latin America, and Middle East accept more frequent contact. Lower touch cultures in Northern Europe and East Asia prefer minimal contact. Traveling internationally or working across cultures demands research into specific norms, preventing unintentional offense. The strategic timing of touch multiplies its rapport-building impact dramatically. Touch during shared laughter creates powerful positive association, linking you to the pleasant emotional state. Touch during moments of agreement cements alignment, making the agreement feel deeper and more committed. Touch during emotional moments of vulnerability deepens connection, creating sense of genuine care and support. Each strategic timing choice maximizes the oxytocin release and rapport building effect. The forearm touch technique is most versatile professional touch available. During conversation, place brief to second touch on their forearm while making important point or sharing something meaningful. Release immediately without lingering. This brief contact creates disproportionate sense of connection and liking while remaining appropriate in virtually all professional contexts with appropriate cultural awareness. The touch and persuasion research demonstrates specific influence effects. Studies show people are significantly more likely to comply with requests made with accompanying brief touch. Servers receive larger tips. Negotiators reach better agreements. Salespeople close more transactions. Understanding this influence effect creates responsibility to use touch ethically to support genuine relationship building, not manipulation. The touch avoidance signals indicate when to refrain entirely. If someone steps backward when you approach, they're signaling comfort with greater distance. If someone stiffens when touched, they prefer no contact. If someone is visibly upset or emotionally heightened touch, then feel intrusive rather than comforting. Reading these signals and respecting them demonstrates emotional intelligence that builds more rapport than touch itself. The gender and power considerations require thoughtful navigation. Touch between equals in professional settings is most straightforward. Touch from higher status to lower status can feel condescending or inappropriate. Touch from lower status to higher status can feel presumptuous. Being aware of these dynamics and erring toward less touch when uncertain protects relationships and professional reputation. The implementation requires mastering handshake technique, learning appropriate touch zones for different contexts, reading individual and cultural preferences, timing touch strategically for maximum impact, using forearm technique in professional settings, respecting avoidance signals, and treating strategic touch as rapport acceleration tool where avoidance prevented deep connection. Touch builds instant rapport and trust. Deploy strategically. Connect physically or stay distant. You understand now that touch releases oxytocin, that handshake sets tone, that timing multiplies impact, that cultural awareness is essential, and that Chapter 3 provides touch strategy making instant rapport possible where avoidance kept relationships superficial. Chapter 4. Secret 4 Use mirroring to create unconscious alignment. Chapter 4 reveals mirroring secrets creating unconscious alignment and profound rapport. The mirroring science shows that humans naturally mirror people they like, trust, and feel connected to. That deliberate, subtle mirroring creates unconscious sense of similarity and deep connection. That mirroring is foundational mechanism behind all profound rapport building. That research consistently shows increased liking compliance and agreement following mirroring. And understanding that mirroring is most powerful unconscious influence tool available, making it essential secret for magnetic. Persuasion. Mirroring creates unconscious alignment. Mirror subtly. Reflect them or remain disconnected. The mirroring elements create comprehensive physical alignment, building deep unconscious connection. Subtly match their overall body posture and position, creating sense of physical similarity. Time your movements to follow theirs with slight natural delay rather than simultaneously, which appears obvious and mocking. Match their breathing rhythm when possible, creating deep physiological connection at level below conscious awareness. Reflect their overall energy level and general speaking pace, creating comfortable similarity. Treating comprehensive mirroring across all elements as creating profound unconscious alignment that people feel deeply without understanding why. The subtle versus obvious distinction is most critical factor in mirroring effectiveness. Obvious immediate mirroring where you copy movements instantly and obviously feels like mockery, creating irritation and destroying rapport. Subtle delayed mirroring where you naturally settle into similar position 5 to 10 seconds after they shift feels completely natural and unconsciously connecting. The delay is everything, preventing conscious detection while maintaining unconscious connection building effect. The specific physical mirroring techniques require gradual natural implementation. When they lean forward, wait several seconds, then naturally lean forward yourself, as if engaged by what they're saying. When they cross legs, allow natural moment to pass, then cross yours. When they adopt open, relaxed posture, gradually shift towards similar openness yourself. Each mirror should feel like natural response to conversation, not mechanical copying. The vocal mirroring dimension multiplies physical mirroring, creating complete alignment. Match their speaking pace. When they speak quickly, increasing your pace to match their energy. When they speak slowly and deliberately, slow your own pace, creating comfortable similarity. Match their general volume level, creating acoustic comfort. Reflect their vocabulary and language patterns, using words and phrases from their lexicon rather than exclusively your own. This vocal mirroring creates profound sense of being deeply understood that people experience as genuine connection. The energy level mirroring enables connection across personality types. High energy, enthusiastic people feel disconnected from low-key, reserved communicators regardless of content. When interacting with high energy person, increase your animation and expressiveness, meeting them at their level. With reserved, thoughtful people reduce animation and create more contemplative, measured communication style. Meeting people at their energy level creates immediate comfort and connection that content alone cannot achieve. The breathing synchronization represents deepest and most powerful mirroring technique. Subtly matching someone's breathing rate creates physiological alignment at level completely below conscious awareness. People often describe feeling strangely comfortable and understood with certain people without being able to explain why. This often reflects unconscious breathing synchronization, creating profound physical rapport. The breaking rapport detection skill makes mirroring bidirectionally valuable. Natural mirroring occurs when people are genuinely aligned and comfortable. When natural mirroring breaks and they begin moving differently from you, this often indicates disagreement, discomfort, or disconnection emerging below the surface. This signal enables you to adjust approach before disconnect becomes conscious and explicit, allowing proactive course correction. The deliberate mismirroring creates strategic distance when needed. If someone becomes too familiar, invades your space, or behaves inappropriately, deliberately adopting different posture and movement creates psychological distance, signaling the relationship boundary without explicit confrontation. This tool enables nonverbal boundary setting that feels more natural than verbal statements. The mirroring in groups requires managing multiple simultaneous relationships. In group settings, mirror the most influential person or the person you most want to connect with while maintaining general warmth toward all group members. Mirroring too obviously in group can feel exclusive, while complete absence of mirroring prevents deep connection with anyone. The implementation requires practicing subtle physical mirroring with appropriate delay, developing vocal mirroring across pace, volume, and vocabulary, matching energy levels, attempting breathing synchronization, reading rapport breaks, using mismirroring for strategic distance, and treating mirroring mastery as creating unconscious alignment where absent mirroring prevented deep connection. Mirroring creates unconscious alignment. Mirror subtly. Reflect them or remain disconnected. You understand now that subtlety is essential, that delay prevents detection, that vocal mirroring creates understanding, that breathing synchronizes deeply, and that Chapter 4 provides mirroring mastery, making unconscious alignment possible where absence kept connection superficial. Chapter 5. Secret 5. Use vocal variety and strategic silence. Chapter 5 reveals vocal secrets, including variety and strategic silence, creating magnetic persuasion. The vocal impact shows that voice quality affects persuasion as powerfully as words themselves, that monotone voice loses audience attention and destroys credibility regardless of content quality, that vocal variety creates engagement, emphasis, and emotional connection, that voice is body language expressed through sound, and understanding that vocal mastery multiplies message impact dramatically, making it essential component of magnetic persuasion. Voice creates impact beyond words. Use vocal variety. Command with sound or bore audiences. The vocal variety elements include varying pitch rising naturally for questions and excitement falling for statements and authority. Varying pace speeding slightly for excitement and energy slowing deliberately for emphasis and importance. Varying volume louder for energy and passion softer for intimacy and confidential sharing. Varying tone warmer for connection and rapport authoritative for credibility and leadership. And treating each variation as creating dynamic engaging communication. That holds attention throughout. This strategic pause power is most underused and most powerful vocal tool available. Pausing deliberately before important points creates anticipation, making audience lean forward, mentally preparing to receive what follows. Pausing after key statements allows complete absorption, giving message time to land fully before moving forward. Pausing instead of filling silence with ums, ahs, and signals deep confidence and considered thinking. Silence communicates certainty, where verbal filler communicates nervousness, making strategic pause one of most powerful credibility builders available. The downward inflection authority transforms how your statements land with audiences. Ending sentences with downward falling inflection sounds authoritative, certain, and complete. Ending statements with upward rising inflection sounds questioning, uncertain, and lacking conviction, even when words themselves are confident. Many people unconsciously use upward inflection on statements from habit or cultural influence, which systematically undermines their authority. Deliberately practicing downward inflection on declarative statements creates immediate credibility increase. The speed variation strategy creates powerful engagement and emphasis effects. Speaking at deliberately slower pace signals confidence, importance, and gravitas, making people lean in and pay close attention. Speaking slightly faster signals excitement, energy, and enthusiasm, creating momentum and engagement. The contrast between these speeds creates dynamic, compelling communication that holds attention far more effectively than constant speed, regardless of whether fast or slow. The volume strategic deployment creates powerful intimacy and authority effects. Raising volume creates energy, excitement, and emphasis appropriate for inspiring, motivating, or energizing. Lowering volume unexpectedly creates powerful intimacy effect, causing people to lean in and pay closer attention, paradoxically more compelling than raising volume. The whisper principle demonstrates that sometimes quieter commands more attention than louder, because it requires active engagement from the listener. The vocal warmth creation changes entire emotional quality of communication. Genuine smiling while speaking physically changes vocal quality in ways that listeners perceive emotionally, even through phone, without seeing your face. Your voice literally sounds warmer, more inviting, and more trustworthy when you speak with genuine facial warmth. Using deliberate, authentic warmth in tone creates rapport and connection that complements all other rapport techniques. The filler word elimination dramatically improves perceived credibility and confidence. Words like are so like, and signal processing uncertainty to listeners even when content is excellent. Replacing these fillers with deliberate pauses transforms the same content from uncertain to authoritative. Record yourself speaking and count filler words per minute. Reducing filler frequency through deliberate pause practice creates measurable credibility increase. The storytelling voice involves specific vocal techniques, making narratives compelling. Varying voice dramatically across characters and emotional moments, using present tense delivery creating immediacy, slowing during tension and speeding during action, and treating vocal performance as bringing stories alive in listener imagination. The telephone and virtual communication voice deserves special attention because visual body language cues are reduced or eliminated. Voice carries even more weight in audio-only interactions, making vocal variety and quality even more critical. Sitting upright, smiling, and using full vocal range during phone calls creates significantly more engaging and persuasive audio presence. The recording practice methodology accelerates vocal development dramatically. Record yourself delivering important presentations, sales conversations, or persuasive messages. Listen critically, noting where monotone sections lose energy, where filler words undermine confidence, where pace could vary more effectively, and where strategic pauses would create more impact. Deliberate improvement based on recording review creates faster development than any other practice method. The implementation requires developing vocal variety across pitch, pace, volume, and tone, using strategic pauses deliberately before and after key points, applying downward inflection on statements, varying speed for emphasis and energy, deploying volume strategically for intimacy and authority, eliminating filler words through pause practice, recording for critical review, and treating vocal mastery as multiplying persuasive impact where monotone delivery lost audiences. Voice creates impact beyond words. Use vocal variety. Command with sound or bore audiences. You understand now that variety maintains engagement, that pause signals confidence, that downward inflection creates authority, that speed variation creates emphasis, and that Chapter 5 provides vocal mastery, making magnetic persuasion possible where monotone delivery made influence impossible. Chapter 6. Secret 6 Control space and territory powerfully. Chapter 6 reveals space and territory secrets, creating powerful presence and commanding authority. The proxemic science shows that how you use physical space communicates status, confidence, and authority continuously and unconsciously. That high status people use more space without apology or self-consciousness. That low status people minimize their physical presence, trying to take up as little space as possible. That space control signals dominance or submission in every social and professional interaction. And understanding that spatial awareness and deliberate space control transforms your perceived authority and presence immediately. Space communicates status and power. Control your territory. Expand presence or signal submission. The personal space zones framework creates foundation for spatial intelligence. The intimate zone extending under 18 inches is reserved for close personal relationships and romantic connection. The personal zone from 18 inches to 4 feet enables friendly interaction and comfortable conversation. The social zone from 4 to 12 feet serves professional interaction and business communication. The public zone extending beyond 12 feet accommodates formal presentations and public speaking. Understanding these zones enables strategic positioning and appropriate distance choices across all contexts. The space expansion techniques communicate high status through physical behavior. Gesture broadly using available space, rather than keeping gestures tight and controlled near your body. Place belongings like bag, jacket, or materials claiming territory at table or in room. Avoid making yourself physically small in spaces you occupy by pulling in legs, crossing arms tightly, or minimizing your footprint. Stand away from walls and barriers rather than backing against them. Taking up appropriate space without apology or self-consciousness consistently signals high status that others unconsciously recognize and respond to. The approach and retreat dynamic creates powerful conversational influence through strategic movement. Moving deliberately towards someone during conversation creates emphasis, urgency, and importance, making your point land with greater weight. Moving back creates psychological space for reflection, consideration, and response, signaling confidence in your position while giving them room to process. This deliberate forward and backward movement guides conversational energy and emphasis more powerfully than words alone. The physical positioning choices communicate status continuously in group settings. Positioning yourself at eye level or above when possible creates authority and confidence signal. Avoiding physically disadvantaged positions like sitting while others stand or being backed into corners maintains spatial power. Positioning yourself where you can see the entire room rather than facing wall creates awareness and control signal that others read as confidence and status. The entry presence creates first spatial impression, establishing your status before a single word is spoken. Pause deliberately at room entry rather than rushing inside anxiously. Survey the room with calm confidence before moving toward your destination. Walk at deliberate, measured pace rather than hurrying nervously. Choose your position in room thoughtfully rather than defaulting to corner or periphery. This entry sequence communicates complete comfort in any environment, which others read as high status and magnetic confidence. The table positioning in meetings and negotiations carries specific strategic implications. Sitting at head of table communicates leadership and authority. Sitting at corner positions creates collaborative, intimate energy. Sitting directly across creates formal negotiation dynamic. Understanding these positioning implications enables strategic seating choices aligned with your specific objective for each interaction. The standing versus sitting dynamic creates specific status signals. Standing while others sit creates clear dominance signal appropriate in some leadership contexts. Sitting when invited to stand can signal relaxed confidence in low-threat environments. Moving between sitting and standing during presentations creates dynamic energy that maintains attention. Making conscious, deliberate choices about these transitions rather than defaulting to habit maximizes facial communication effectiveness. The personal space violations and protections require sophisticated management. When someone unconsciously invades your personal space, stepping back once signals discomfort clearly. If they advance again, holding ground rather than retreating further signals confidence and boundary. never allowing yourself to be physically crowded into corner or disadvantaged position, maintains spatial authority throughout interaction. The virtual space management applies proxemics principles to video communication, positioning yourself appropriately in camera frame, neither too close creating discomfort or too far creating disconnection, ensuring background communicates appropriate status and professionalism. Using deliberate forward lean toward camera for emphasis and backward for reflection creates virtual version of approach and retreat dynamic. The implementation requires understanding all personal space zones, using expansion techniques claiming appropriate territory, deploying approach and retreat for emphasis, optimizing physical positioning, mastering entry presence, choosing strategic table positions, managing standing and sitting transitions, protecting personal space, and treating space control as creating powerful authority where small apologetic presses signaled low status. Space communicates status and power. Control your territory. Expand presence or signal submission. You understand now that expansion signals status, that entry creates first impression, that approach creates emphasis, that positioning matters strategically, and that Chapter 6 provides spatial mastery making powerful presence possible where shrinking presses made authority impossible. Chapter 7. Secret 7. Read others and respond strategically. Chapter 7 reveals body language reading secrets, enabling strategic response that completes your magnetic persuasion mastery. The reading importance shows that understanding others' body language provides real-time feedback on your persuasive impact, that cluster reading provides significantly more reliable signals than interpreting single gestures in isolation, that reading enables strategic adjustment mid-interaction, preventing failed persuasion attempts, and understanding that reading others multiplies all previous 6 secrets by enabling real-time optimization of your entire approach. Reading others enables strategic response. Observe clusters. Read signals or operate blind. The cluster reading principle is most important foundation for accurate body language interpretation. Single gestures are completely unreliable when interpreted in isolation because crossed arms might indicate coldness, defensiveness, or simply being cold. Clusters of 3 or more congruent signals provide reliable, readable messages about internal state. Arms crossed plus gaze avoidance plus feet pointing toward exit plus reduced response length creates clear cluster signaling strong desire to leave or disengage. Treating clusters as complete body language sentences rather than isolated words transforms reading accuracy dramatically. The comfort signals reveal genuine engagement, openness, and positive reception of your message. Open, relaxed posture with uncrossed arms and legs signals psychological openness and receptivity. Leaning forward toward you signals genuine interest and engagement with what you're saying. Increased and sustained eye contact signals trust, attention, and connection. Genuine smiling, reaching eyes with crinkling corners signals authentic positive emotion. Mirroring your own body language signals deep unconscious rapport and alignment. Recognizing these comfort clusters enables you to recognize when persuasion is working and maintain your current approach. The discomfort signals provide early warning of resistance, disconnection, or persuasion failure. Self-touching behaviors like touching face, neck, or hair signal self-soothing during stress or deception. Creating physical barriers by crossing arms, placing objects between you, or turning body away signals defensive psychological state. Looking away with downward gaze direction signals shame, guilt, or avoidance. Feet pointing toward nearest exit, even while face and torso face, use signals desire to leave regardless of polite verbal engagement. Reduced response length and monosyllabic answers signal withdrawal of engagement. The deception indicators require careful interpretation, always within broader context and cluster. Increased self-touching, particularly around face and mouth, signals heightened anxiety, often accompanying deception. Gaze aversion with specifically downward movement differs from thoughtful upward gaze breaks. Speech disfluences like sudden increase in pausing, stumbling over words, or over-explanation of simple points signals processing stress. Incongruence between words and body where someone says yes while subtly shaking head or agrees verbally while showing discomfort physically reveals misalignment between stated and actual position. The interest and engagement reading enables dynamic real-time adjustment of your approach. Genuine interest creates forward, lean increased eye contact, head nodding, and raised energy level, creating visible engagement. Disengagement creates backward lean reduced eye contact, distracted gaze, and lower energy, signaling your approach needs adjustment. Reading these engagement signals in real time enables dynamic response before complete disconnection occurs. The strategic response system transforms reading from passive observation into active persuasion optimization. When you detect disengagement signals, increase your vocal variety, ask direct engaging question, or change topic to something more relevant to their interests. When you detect discomfort signals, slow down, create more space, give them room to process, or directly address the concern you sense. When you detect deception indicators, ask clarifying questions that make honesty easier rather than confronting directly. When you detect strong comfort and engagement signals, continue your current approach while deepening commitment and moving toward your persuasive goal. The baseline establishment enables accurate reading of individual signals. Every person has unique default body language patterns that reflect their personality, not their emotional state. Some people naturally cross arms as comfortable default position, not signaling defensiveness. Some people naturally avoid eye contact as personality trait, not as deception signal. Establishing baseline during neutral conversation before attempting to read emotional signals dramatically improves interpretation accuracy. The real-time feedback loop created by reading mastery transforms your persuasion effectiveness exponentially. You notice resistance before it becomes refusal and adjust. You recognize genuine buying signals and advance. You detect confusion and clarify before it becomes objection. You see emotional disconnection and reconnect before it becomes rejection. This continuous feedback loop operating throughout every interaction makes your persuasion increasingly precise and effective. The integration of all 7 secrets creates magnetic presence that feels natural and compelling to everyone you interact with. Power posture establishes authority. Eye contact creates connection. Strategic touch builds rapport. Mirroring creates alignment. Vocal variety creates engagement. Space control communicates status. Reading others enables strategic response. Together, these 7 secrets transform every interaction, making you genuinely magnetically persuasive. You have learned 7 body language secrets that make you magnetically persuasive. Secret 1: Mastering power posture, commanding instant respect. Secret 2, using eye contact, creating magnetic connection. Secret 3, deploying strategic touch, building instant rapport. Secret 4, using mirroring, creating unconscious alignment. Secret 5, using vocal variety and strategic silence. Secret 6, controlling space and territory powerfully. Secret 7, reading others and responding strategically. What matters now is practicing one secret today. Five implementation priorities. Practice power posture for 2 minutes before next important interaction. Maintain optimal eye contact in next conversation. Perfect handshake in next meeting. Use one strategic pause in next presentation. Survey room deliberately when entering next space. Practice consistently, develop deliberately, and become magnetically persuasive through commitment. Stop losing influence to inferior communicators and start commanding presence. Stop letting body language undermine your words and start making them powerfully congruent. Master all 7 secrets, practice deliberately, read others strategically, and become magnetically persuasive in every interaction through unwavering commitment starting right now today.